Hello and welcome to Roadmap 2019. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. Thanks for joining us. On this program, we interact with some of the major players in Nigeria's journey to the 2019 elections. On today's edition, my guest says there is no war against corruption in Nigeria because the loopholes that encourage it have not yet been blocked. My guest also believes that oil as a major revenue earner has a lifespan of at most 2 decades and that diversification into the knowledge economy is now critical for Nigeria. Now, please join us as we talk to the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, the AAC, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. Mr. Omoyele Sowore, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Roadmap 2019.
Thank you for bringing me.
Now, you've been going around the country. What has been your impression of what the people think has happened since 1999?
I think the first thing I found out is that there are really no structures out there of governance. There are large swaths of land in Nigeria that is ungoverned, and some other parts ungovernable.
What's the difference?
The ungoverned is there's no presence of government. The ungovernable part is the part that probably with even any effort on the part of government, they haven't succeeded in coring the confidence and the support of the people to give them any form of support, because people have lost faith in governance. So one led to the other, or vice versa. But most importantly, I also understood, having visited over 32 states in the last 9 months, that there is no understanding of what the Nigerian people are and what they want on the part of people governing them. So governance has been reduced to federal and state capitals mostly, and the other parts are places that are probably indigenous to people in government, their hometowns, local governments, and places they think they owe favors. So that's been my general experience. But interestingly, the Nigerians are very resilient people and actually have been looking forward to the kind of messaging that we took to them. And I mean, this wasn't just visiting any particular region. I visited every region. I've done all the 6 geopolitical zones, and also visited a lot of cities and towns and villages, been to churches, been to schools, mosques across the country, been to markets. I've actually visited border towns in the country and looked at the condition of our borders. It's amazing.
What did you make of the border situation? Because I remember that you went up north, to the end.
Yes.
To virtually the end of the country.
Yeah.
And when we talk about some of the security challenges that we are faced with within the country, people talk about porous borders and so on. What was your experience at those borders?
It would be appropriate to claim that the border is porous if there's a border at all. You know, there is no, I don't even think there are milestones
that
erected anywhere to mark the borders. We just have security agents who have a duty post, and they have a little stick or iron across, and for transactional border businesses. That's what I saw. There is nothing that prevents anybody from coming into Nigeria through Zamfara State, even if you have with you a WMD. That's a weapon of mass destruction. I'm telling you, nobody will stop you. And you can pass through any of the borders and pay the appropriate fees, drive in, do what you have to do, and drive out. So we don't have borders. So it would be an oxymoron to claim that our borders are porous. That would mean that there's a border and that maybe certain places are leaking. We don't have, borderline is that we don't have borders.
Now, let me bring you back down into the country now. And I'm almost apprehensive to ask this question, but I will have to ask nevertheless. You spend a great deal of time outside the country.
That's right.
Because you run an organization that is based in the United States.
Yes.
What do Nigerians in diaspora, as they are called, what do they make of what's happening back at home?
What is most interesting is that the people that are most interested in Nigeria, I think maybe for reasons of nostalgia, Nigerians who are based outside of Nigeria, the Nigerians in the diaspora, and all of them are constantly looking in, constantly watching, just so that you know, I have access to more information about Nigeria when I'm outside of Nigeria than I am when I'm inside of Nigeria, because I'm constantly looking in. I wake up when people wake up in Nigeria. I go to sleep when they sleep, you know. I have to be engaged with Nigeria. It's partially nostalgia and also this sense of deja vu that, you know, you look in and you have this expectation, but nothing is happening, you know, except bad news all the time. But there's a part of you that wants there to be great news coming out of the place, because the diaspora, as you call it, in a lot of ways is second slavery. So this, you've left Nigeria, it's fantastic, but then you have to work all the time. You don't have a status that's acceptable. When you get a status, you are in, you know, in circumlocution, you know, and then you grow old there, and yet you don't belong there, and then you start feeling that, you know, I need to go back home, but you can't go back home because home is not receptive. So you are there constantly hoping that things will be all right. So you are traveling between optimism, you know, and absolute depression and dejection.
But some people listening to you will be surprised that you would be saying that, because they say you have it good. You're doing very well.
Yeah.
In
Because there's a level of consciousness that has accompanied my life, you know, and it's deeper than just traveling to the U.S. and trying to dress like them or wear sneakers or go to the movies. You know, I have had kids there, gotten married there, but I understand in depth, having been on that side of the world, and understanding what their own citizens go through, you know, and what we have to go through first to be part and belong in that society. And I know that applies to everybody. And then understand that at the end of the day, it's almost vain, you know. If you're in Nigeria, you own a house, it belongs to you. In the US, it belongs to the bank. You know, you have to pay taxes. At the end of the day, it's almost as if, you know, there's this vacuum inside of you that has been created by living away. Yes, having life the way you want it, but not having the substance you want in life because you're not where your life should be. So you are out of your genetics living abroad. That's the way to describe it.